519, the other big international story is the fact that Afghanistan is falling into Taliban hands. The Biden administration facing a swarm of backlash now after Taliban fighters successfully captured the capital city of Kabul.
Yeah, a lot of people there feel deserted by the United States. Right now, thousands of them are trying to flee as chaos has broken out. Crown 4's Washington, D.C. correspondent Raquel Martin is there with the latest in the nation's capital. What's going on, Raquel?
Good morning. Well, we still haven't heard directly from President Biden, but we do know he will be briefed on what is now a dire situation unraveling in Afghanistan later this morning. But we did get an update from the Pentagon last night. They are now sending more troops to the airport in Kabul to try to get as many people out of harm's way as quickly as possible. The U.S. Embassy in Kabul is now urging Americans and Afghans not to travel to the international airport in Kabul until notified. As images overnight continue to show hundreds making a mad dash to planes to flee Taliban control. The Pentagon and State Department say the U.S. military is now sending 6,000 troops to secure the location to evacuate thousands of American citizens and vulnerable Afghans. The ramped-up effort comes after Sunday, Taliban fighters successfully seized the capital of Kabul, nearly 20 years since being ousted.
Unmitigated disaster of epic proportions.
Earlier Sunday on CNN State of the Union, Texas Republican Michael McCaul slammed the Biden administration's exit strategy.
This is going to be a stain on this president and his presidency. And I think he's going to have blood on his hands for what they did.
On Twitter, Iowa Republican Senator Chuck Grassley compared the now dire situation on the ground to Saigon, calling it, quote, failed leadership.
This is not Saigon.
But Sunday morning, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken pushed back against criticism and stood by the administration's efforts.
We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission, and that mission was to deal with the folks who attacked us on 9/11. And we have succeeded. Remaining in Afghanistan for another 1, 5, 10 years is not in the national interest.
The White House and dozens of countries are now calling on the Taliban to keep their borders open to allow Afghan residents to leave if they so choose. The big question now remains is, will the international community ultimately recognize the Taliban government? Secretary Blinken says while they are in the middle of negotiations, it also depends on if they continue to violate basic human rights or potentially harbor terrorists. For now in Washington, Raquel Martin, back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Raquel.
And remember that you can